Hey, this is my friend, my brother. We've built such a great relationship in the community. Won't you introduce yourself to us? And I won't say your name. I'll allow you to say your full name and your faith tradition, if you don't mind sharing.
Thank you so much, Pastor Casey, Sam.
That's it.
I'm Karthik Ramakrishnan, and my faith tradition, it's actually a blend. I would say a blend of Hinduism and Buddhism. I actually was very interested in religion when I was a teenager, when I started reading about stories that my parents never taught me about the different gods and goddesses. Very interesting stories. Absolutely. Very non-puritanical, non-Victorian types of stories. You know, it's the kind of stuff that you wouldn't talk to little kids about, but I got more and more interested. And I started my undergraduate education. I don't know if you know this about me. I started as a religious studies major when I started college.
Wow.
And I got really deep into not only Eastern religions, but also mysticism and meditation across traditions, including Christianity too. But I do not consider myself, I consider myself spiritual. I've had some of what you would call religious or spiritual experiences, which I've, you know, it's humbling to have, you know, at least felt that. But at the same time, I don't subscribe to institutional religion. I love mythologies and stories. I think they're wonderful, and they provide guidance to people that need them.
So Dr. Karthik, my brother Karthik, you've had a wide range of experiences in not only your own faith tradition, but other faith traditions. Help me write a letter to my church or to the church in general and talk about specifically where we're missing it as it relates to economic justice, racial justice, societal ills, and how we could better relate to the community if we did some of the things that you would suggest in your letter. Go. Letter to the church.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to remember all of that. But what I'll say, first of all, to me, this sounds like what you're talking about is some version of a liberation theology, but within Protestantism and evangelism that you would have seen in Catholicism, right? That's what it seems like, what we're talking about here.
Yes, sir. Where are we missing it? Where are we missing it in economic justice at this time?
So in economic justice, it's really hard to talk about economic justice without layering and race. First of all, there's Christianity as it is in the US. And if you talk about evangelical Christianity as it is in the US. And then we need to name it as white evangelical Christianity.
Wow. Which
is different, I think, from Black evangelical or Latino evangelical Christianity, right? So first of all, white evangelical Christianity is, it's racism is so embedded within it that you might say that it's not about economic justice, but because of the way economic justice intersects with racial justice or injustice, I think it's just really hard to avoid that.
Wow.
Right now, on top of that, let's talk about Black evangelical traditions. So, the whole prosperity gospel is, I think of that as very harmful. I think it gets the analysis completely wrong. Well, maybe not completely. It's hard to say anything gets the analysis completely wrong. It largely misses the mark in terms of the analysis of what is keeping people down, what is holding them back, and what they need to do to advance not only individually but collectively, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And that prosperity gospel is so hyper individual focused and not communal. And even so, it somehow takes economic prosperity as a sign of connection to God, where we know there's just like there's no correlation at all, no relationship. So that's where I would say are some of the major gaps. Now, the final thing I'll say, maybe you weren't ready for this, is let's take this global, right? So a lot of times you'll see evangelicals in sub-Saharan Africa, India, and other places. They're doing good work,
Yes.
but they are often in the service of American hegemony and white supremacy, and they don't realize it.
Wow. Say more.
Well, it's a very selective engagement. So of course they're there to help people, but are they writing letters to Congress telling them to not, not plunder these lands economically, to not militarily control their every move? No.
Wow.
It's a very, very selective. And so there's no analysis of systems of injustice. There's only this kind of attention to individuals or households. These are mostly band-aid solutions. Makes them feel better, but it's not fundamentally altering systems at all.
Wow. That's
and if it alters systems, it's usually in the service of imperialism.
Yes.
Because it's look at these uncivilized, brutal people, not realizing that the United States and even Christians, a lot of white Christians in the United States, enact brutality around them.
Wow.
And some of the stuff goes deep, right? So that's the thing. Like missionaries were the handmaidens of imperialism. That's how it works. Now that said, there are local oppressors too. So I don't begrudge the important work that they do. I wouldn't necessarily call it holy work.
Wow. So as we close this letter to the church, Karthik, what's one thing you want to challenge the evangelical Black church, the church in general that represents the Lord Jesus Christ to do? One challenge to us.
I would say to see human beings as ends in and of themselves and not as means to an end,
Wow.
including your own salvation as well as the salvation of the person that you're trying to change.
Well, listen,
I think that would be powerful.
Yes, now that's perfect. You've heard it. A letter to the church from my friend and brother, Karthik. Thank you so much, my brother Karthik, man. And we look forward to connecting with you again soon. God bless.
Thanks. Thank you, Pastor.